What is up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Forging the New MCU. This is a series where I break down each project in my own Marvel movie universe that I covered in a series of live streams with myself and Marvel Mad. I have them linked below so you can check out the entire story up until this point, or you can watch the entire story as a whole. But for today, I'm going to be talking about the fourth entry to Phase 2 of the Cosmic Saga, the Spectacular Spider-Man. Before I get started though, make sure to subscribe and like this video and share it around. I'd really appreciate it, and let's get to it. Alright, so this one's going to be very exciting because Spider-Man is my favorite character. So I'm going to get into the synopsis for the Spectacular Spider-Man, which is: Peter Parker, early in his career as Spider-Man, faces a perilous adversary in the Chameleon, a highly skilled operative with the ability to mimic not only appearances, but also behaviors flawlessly. His unparalleled espionage skills make him a linchpin in a plan to manipulate governments, corporations, and superheroes alike. As Spider-Man races to unravel the layers of deceit, he discovers that the Chameleon's true danger lies not just in his mimicry, but in the pivotal role he plays in a sinister plot that links to the criminal underworld of New York. So, as you can tell by the synopsis, Spider-Man is early in his career. This is Peter probably around, like year 2 in his career. I kind of imagine this not as an origin, but like he's in his year 2, similar to how the latest Batman movie was Batman in his second year. So for this, Peter is in his like sophomore to kind of junior year of high school. He's basically just, done like petty crimes for his whole first year up until this point, just taking out street thugs, thieves, people like that. So when the Chameleon comes around, who is his first big villain, then he has to kind of, use the power that he's given and try to apply that to a greater figure that is much more dangerous than just a normal thief. And in this, Peter is working a part-time job at the Daily Bugle. He's, trying to establish himself. He's still living with Aunt May. He wants to have a girlfriend. He wants to have a normal life, but he is Spider-Man. The love interest in this I chose would be Gwen Stacy. In my eyes, Gwen Stacy always has to be the first love interest for Peter, because obviously in the first comics, they meet in high school, then they kind of, get to know each other, and MJ comes in later. Still, when Gwen Stacy's alive, he has to kind of bounce between the two of them, but he mainly sticks with Gwen until she dies and then goes to MJ. So for this, it's going to be Gwen. He's trying to, go through high school. He's trying to impress her, try to like take her on dates, stuff like that. But when he tries to do all that, he gets pulled out of it because something is going on with the Chameleon, or a crime is happening. And at this point, Spider-Man is kind of like, he has the experience in the city, but it's nowhere near the experience he needs to take down the Chameleon, because the Chameleon is, again, a highly skilled operative with vast espionage skills. He's like a very dangerous person. And for anyone that doesn't know, the Chameleon is actually Spider-Man's very first villain, which is what I wanted to get in this. And the Chameleon is someone that uses disguises to mimic other people and, try to lie to things and cause chaos through lies, basically. So in this, the Chameleon is using his skills to manipulate the city with, like taking over the mayor's office, taking over, big corporations that fund money to all these different things that end up in a way helping the criminal underworld of New York in the end. So he's linked to something else. I'm going to explain that later, but it's going to build up to something huge. And for this, he is basically just, impersonating people close to the mayor, close to all, like the heads of these corporations, trying to get the money rolling in through these corporations to fund the underworld secretly so they can rise up. And the first time Spider-Man and the Chameleon meet is when there's a, mayoral announcement, and he's doing a press conference, and Spider-Man finds out that there's a plan to assassinate the mayor. And when he goes there, he sees that someone very close to the mayor is like coming close to him, and he starts to pull a gun out of his coat. And before he gets a chance to shoot, Spider-Man throws a web at him, pulls him out into the sky, and kind of hangs him over a lamppost and kind of like questions him. And before Spider-Man can get any information out of him, the Chameleon uses a gas to kind of make Spider-Man pass out, and the Chameleon escapes. So from this, he realizes there's someone in the mayor's office trying to kill the mayor. Later on, he kind of starts to investigate this, and he realizes the person that was trying to assassinate the mayor who was actually the Chameleon, he's impersonating someone that died 20 years ago. So he's like, what the heck is going on? This doesn't make any sense how this guy who is supposed to be dead is trying to assassinate the mayor. So as the movie goes on, stuff like this kind of happens where these people that shouldn't be around and just people that don't exist on records at all are popping up and trying to do things in the city and trying to, do like money laundering, trying to like, again, assassinate key political figures in the city so the underworld can rise up. And at the very end, Spider-Man has a confrontation with the Chameleon, except the Chameleon is dressed as Spider-Man. He's trying to make Spider-Man look like a bad person. He's, going around beating up people. He's actually inciting violence. He's actually going after the mayor, trying to like kill him as Spider-Man. And Spider-Man has to go through that whole thing like, my image is ruined now because of this guy. And he has to kind of go and fight him and try to prove that he is the true Spider-Man. He is the real one. And he doesn't want any violence. He doesn't want any rise in crime or any of that. And the Chameleon has that fight with him. In the end, he stops the Chameleon, and Spider-Man ends up finding out that the Chameleon is working for a man called Wilson Fisk, who some of you may know as the Kingpin. So obviously, Fisk had hired the Chameleon to kind of get his operations up, as Fisk is just kind of, establishing himself in the city. He's been around this whole time, but he's basically building up his empire now. And the Chameleon was one of those people he needs to kind of manipulate the city into thinking the current establishment isn't true to their word. He's basically trying to make Fisk look like the god of the city and everyone else look like rats, basically. And through this, Fisk is secretly raising crime so his, operations can pull in more money for him and try to, make him look like the hero, trying to stop the crime. But in the end, he's the one that's actually raising it because it's helping his image make it seem like, yeah, we're gonna fight crime, we're gonna do this and help the city. But in the end, he's just causing like chaos in it. So the Chameleon is put away. Spider-Man has to kind of put his paranoia away that like, okay, the guy's down. I don't think I'm in any danger of my image. And for this, Spider-Man comes out of it with a greater sense of, okay, now I know what it takes to truly be this hero of this city. He needs to use his power and his responsibility, there you go, to like use it in a way that he doesn't come too fast to conclusions. He needs to kind of, when he's taking down a street thug, he's like going at it. He's like, okay, I've stopped you, that's it. He can't do this with a figure like the Chameleon because he's so dangerous. He's got 100, different fail safes basically. But in this case, he uses his skills and senses to stop the Chameleon before things spiral out of control in the city. So the post-credit scene for this is what I envision in my head would be really cool because this is what I've always wanted from Spider-Man. So Spider-Man is crawling on the side of Fisk Tower. A billy club launches into the side of the building where Spidey remains, and he looks back to see a figure leaping towards him. They collide, fall off the building. They land on a building below. The figure perceives Spidey to be an accomplice of Fisk, but Peter insists he is investigating a larger problem. The figure is Daredevil and offers his help in taking down Fisk. This, again, is something that I've always wanted to see with Spider-Man, but in this is like the first true introduction to the two of them working together in the city. And I can confirm that the sequel to this Spider-Man movie, I'm not going to drop the title yet, but the two of them will be working together in that movie. So this story doesn't really connect to the larger story in a big way. It's more of just, the Spider-Man side to this franchise, keeping it street level. But the next project will be going back into the main story, much like previously we had Captain America, which was enhancing the full story. So that is the spectacular Spider-Man. Again, I'd like to thank anyone for watching this. Make sure to subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed it and share it around. I'd really appreciate it. And I will see you on the next video where I will be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time.